Hello, welcome to Dungeons Rose Podcast. I'm Reels Justin. Today we're reviewing Buck Rogers, Volume 1, Future Shock by Dynamite. This is written by Scott Beatty, with art by Carlos Rafael, with covers by John Cassaday. That's John Cassaday's art right there on the cover. There's also a cover by variant cover by uh, Industry's Finest, Alex Ross, right there. Though they decided to get rid of the balls on top of their heads there. Yeah. So, yeah, I've been meaning to read this series for a long time, but never got around to it. Until I saw that this was on sale for $10, but this normally goes for 17 US. I'm assuming like 20 Canadian. This is rated T for teen. It's action. So this is a book obviously based off the pulp science fiction hero character Buck Rogers, who first came out in, I thought he was from the 50s, but he's from like, his first appearance was in a novel from 1929, man. Holy crap. This character is almost 100 years old. And I also read the issue 0, which I've had for a long time. It only has 11 pages. I paid 25 cents for this, which I thought it was, I thought I remembered it, getting this for like free comic book day, but I guess not. So, and I read this first, and I was surprised to see that this does not, you don't actually need to read this to read this, which collects issues 1 through 5, which pretty thick trade for only having 5 issues, man. Which issue 0 is about Buck Rogers has been in the 25th century or 26th century for a while now. This is like 500 years in the future. He first teleported in the future from like the year 2019, which, you know, considering this book came out in what, like 2009, they were like 10 years in the future. So he's like middle-aged here, and he's already been in the Earth Protectorate for a while now. He's stopping these like single-celled organisms, microbes, who evolved to be giants from destroying the Earth with their fleet, which they want to consume everybody, right? And he takes his gravity drive device and sucks the aliens into like a black hole or something, and he goes along with them, right? And you have his daughter here named Winnie, right? Don't know who her mother is. Yeah, so like, yeah, this was a cool 11 issue comic. A lot of action, right? So now we go into this, and I gotta say, I was never a huge fan of the Buck Rogers property, because like the only thing, I think I tried to watch a movie from the 70s, which was like 79, I looked it up, and at the time, when I was a kid, I didn't like it, because obviously the bad special effects, right? Which, you know, and it was like, it had like a TV movie budget, yeah. Which it was like the pre-pilot for the TV series. But like, one thing I do respect the Buck Rogers property, not only because it's 100 years old, but it also inspired Farscape, which is one of my favorite sci-fi shows, right? Which I even have the DVDs here, right next to me in a bin, right? But I'm not gonna dig them out. So yeah, what ends up happening is Buck Rogers was part of the military but left for reasons, and now went to the private sector, where him and his friends are developing this gravity drive device that will allow mankind to travel faster than light, FTL, right? And what ends up happening is the ship gets commandeered by the military. There's the military there with his ex-wife, who's dating this jerk, that jerk there. And because what happens is that apparently there's Mars colonization in 2019, right? So like what ends up happening is there was a plague on Mars, and which like wiped out like everybody that lived there, and one of the scientists in a mad frenzy thought it was a good idea to ship Earth's like genetic material from like different animals into space, and the military thought that was a bad idea, which it turns out it was, and like they sent Buck Rogers on his ship to try to like destroy that rocket, and he ends up traveling 500 years in the future, ends up on Earth, right? He meets like Colonel Wilma, who's part of the Earth Protectorate. It's 500 years in the future, and I guess like parts of the planet has been zoned off into game areas where these aliens send the aliens who found the rocket genetically engineer like animals from Earth into hunters, where they capture humans in the designated game areas and send them to their slaughter ships, right? So Buck Rogers gets captured, right? Gets captured by these aliens, right? Who uses the genetically engineered like animals to capture humans. Where there's another one in here where that's a wolf, and you also get some flashbacks or present time, I don't know what you would call it, scenes from the past where like they're mourning Buck Rogers, not knowing that he's in the future, right? At this point they escape the ship, which here you see they're planning on killing our people and cutting them up, which I thought was super dark, because they hunt humans for game and eat them, right? And the Earth's government, I guess, didn't do anything about it until they realize, hey, they're sending a fleet. Here's the wolf hunter. The aliens are sending a fleet. This chick's important. The aliens are sending a fleet to wipe out humanity, pretty much, and this chick is a princess with her bodyguard, right, who were trying to make a deal with the aliens, right? So here's some. I think this book should have been M-rated, honestly, because of the ultra-violence. They have like these giant slugs that they feed on these like ships. There's some TNA for you. The alien princess who was selling out mankind tries to play as the damsel in distress to try to get rescued. So yeah, what happens after that is like basically the Earth Protectorate finds Buck Rogers' gravity drive device, put it on one of their ships. Right? And encounter the Gamilon. Are they the Gamilon? I can't remember. Here's some epic space battles where they're fighting like where the Protectorate have these suits that allow them to fly around in space, and they have like these 1950s sci-fi looking ray guns that can atomize anything. So here's a cool space battle, right? I gotta say, I like the art. So apparently I was wrong, and Alex Ross did not do the designs, which it is what it is. Yeah, so they hook up like Buck Rogers' gravity drive device, attack the ships. They recruit Buck Rogers into the Protectorate, which he only wears this costume in the end of the 4th issue. So it's not till the final issue where He wears it, and like he fights the aliens, and he actually saves the genetically engineered animals. Right, let's see if I can find that. Like, it turns out the alien slave masters are like gerbils or whatever, rodents inside robot suits, which I thought that was cool. Fudge. It's hard to turn. Whatever, right? So, like, yeah, I thought, back when I was young, I was a bit bloodthirsty, and I would get pissed off when, like, protagonists would spare, especially ones that didn't mind killing, would spare their enemies, right? Especially when they're enemies of mankind. But, I kind of don't blame Buck Rogers for, like, sparing the animals, because, he was going to blow up their ship, and like they're stuck in their like cages, and the animals can talk, right? Though they're kind of simple. Yeah, he spares them and brings them to the humans' flagship, right? So overall, I thought the story was good. It's your typical pulp science fiction story. Lots of action. Designs could have been better, but it's I kind of do like this costume, but thank God they got rid of that. I would have preferred they, replaced it with a fin or something, but then again, it would have been too much like Adam Strange's costume, I guess. But overall, I enjoyed this book. A lot of cool action. The dialogue was okay. The art was okay. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of John Cassaday's covers, but I thought the covers were okay, especially this cover. This is a pretty good cover. And this is apparently, I don't know if this is Carlos Rafael or John Cassaday. Oh, apparently it was by John Cassaday with Laura Martin. Yeah. So yeah, if I were to give this a rating, I would say it's a 7 out of 10. You don't necessarily need to pick it up, but if you're a fan of like pulp science fiction action, this was pretty good. And if you're a Farscape fan, check out Buck Rogers. That inspired, the Farscape series, and you gotta. I feel like you gotta pay tribute to the stuff that inspired the stuff you love, right? All right. I've also reviewed other sci-fi series, sci-fi books like Mark Millar's Starlight, right there, Fear Agent by Rick Remender, and Black Mask's Space Raiders by Patrick Zurek, if I remember correctly. So I reviewed all those books. Make sure to check out. My next review is going to be a DC book. It's going to be Green Arrow's Sounds of Violence, which this is a Kevin Smith book. Apparently, I thought this was the first volume of Kevin Smith's Green Arrow run. Turns out it's like the second. It's the thing where they didn't number that stuff. They didn't number it. And here it says in the first story arc. So I read that thinking this is the first book, and it's not. The first book is actually Quiver, where they brought back Green Arrow back from the dead. So yeah, I messed up, but I'm not gonna wait to pick that up. I'm gonna read and review this first before I pick up Quiver. Yeah. So it is what it is, guys. That's it for this review. Peace.